we have already read out the problem to you. We have discussed the data, right? So all this is given and the force at the end is to be known. I always tell you that the best way is to start at the end, that if force is to be found, then what is the formula for the force in upsetting or forging, simple forging, and then go back from there, right? So we know that force is pressure into area. This is the first thing that we know, that force is pressure into area. Area, of course, will be found by the dia and so on. So if it is force at the end, then this area will be based on area at the end, right? Area at the end. So this is one thing, and it is a cylinder, right? It is a cylindrical thing. So the dia is given, okay? Then the formula for pressure in forging is Y1 plus 2 mu R upon 3H. Of course, right? This is the formula when coefficient of friction is given. So coefficient of friction is there. If the coefficient of friction was not there, then this will be 0. So this part will be gone away. So this is the formula, right? So force is pressure into area. Pressure is this thing. Here, do you know mu? Yes, you know this. Do you know R, which is the radius, right? Radius at the end. Radius at the end. You don't know it. Do you know height? Yes. Initial height and final height are given. Do you know the flow stress? Flow stress? No, you don't. Right? So let us proceed further. We know that we will need a strain definition in the flow stress. So strain is ln H naught upon H1. H naught and H1 are both given, so this can be found out very simply. The flow stress Y or sigma is K epsilon N, right? K epsilon N. K is already given, N is already given, and epsilon is from here, right? So this means that now you put this value of epsilon here, K and N are known, so sigma or Y is now known. This is a known thing now. We know that constant volume, initial area into initial dia, final area into final dia. This is the standard method of finding any unknown areas or dias and so on, right? So we told you that the area will be the area at the end because they are finding what is the force at the end, and the height here will be the height at the end. The radius will be the radius at the end. So if you know the initial dia, then pi by 4 d square is the initial area. So initial area into initial, you see, this would be the other way around. Here we have initial area into height, right? So sorry for that, and final area into height. So initial cross-sectional area is known, and the height is this one, right? So I'm sorry for writing D instead of H here, but you understand, right? So this is all known. This is all known, and height 2 is known. Height 2 is known. So therefore, initial area now known, initial height known, final height known. Find the final area from here, and because it is a cylinder, so find the final dia and so on, and then resubstitute it. So I am, right, this time I am not showing you my own calculations and so on, because those are unimportant. If you do a small calculation error somewhere, then that error is there. But the main idea is to know the process. So you had to find the force, for which you need to find the pressure. This is the pressure formula. For this, you want to find the radius at the end, which you find from here. You want to find the flow stress. Flow stress equation is this, inside which epsilon is to be known. Epsilon is this. So, right, it is not a very complicated question. It is relatively simple question. It is a question of the type that we have solved in the class examples and so on. It is a question of the type which are there in the homeworks. So as I keep on repeating to you that if you carefully resolve the examples that we have done in the class and you do the homework problems, then you really understand almost everything. And of course, right, area is pi by 4 d square. Let us go to the next question of the quiz. Find the roll force and power for annealed low carbon steel strip 200 millimeter wide and 10 millimeter thick, rolled to a thickness of 6 millimeter. Roll radius is 200 millimeter, roll rotates at 200 rpm, friction coefficient is 0.1. Right, so once again, please pause the video here, solve it on your own rough paper and so on, and proceed after making sure that you are satisfied with your solution. First step, always find the data. So it is the operation of rolling, right? It is the operation of rolling. Annealed low carbon steel is the material. Width 200 milli, initial thickness 10 milli, final thickness 6 milli. Roll radius 200, RPM 200, mu is 0.1. And you want to find the force and the power, right? Force and the power. So this is the question. And again, as I say, always start at the end. How do you find force? How do you find power? And then see what is known and the unknown. So this is the force equation, right? For rolling, this is the force equation. L is the roll contact length. W is the width. Y bar dash is the flow stress average in plane strain. Mu is the coefficient of friction. L is the same. H average, the average height or average thickness during rolling. Power is pi FLN upon 60,000, right? Pi FLN upon 60,000, because it is millimeter units. So it is the metric system. Therefore, this, had it been the PSI unit, then in the formula sheet there is another power formula for power in horsepower, right? So again here, this is force, this is roll contact, this is RPM. So if you have found the force from here, then you can directly solve it, right? And so forth. Now in this one, here L, here L, here L. So you need to know what is the roll contact length, right? So you know from the formula sheet, roll contact length for rolling is under root R delta H, where R is the roll radius, delta H is the height. So do you know R? Yes, it is directly given. Do you know delta H? So delta H is initial height or thickness, final height or thickness, change of that, right? So we are calling it thickness, they are calling it height. We could have called it height also. So this delta H is this minus this, and R is here. So L is directly found out. L is directly found out, no problem at all. Now for the Y bar, right? Y bar, the flow stress. We know that it is not Y here in the formula, it is Y bar. So K epsilon N upon N plus 1. K epsilon N upon N plus 1. And it is annealed low carbon steel. Annealed low carbon steel. So in the formula sheet, at the end of the formula sheet, the K and N values are given in a table. Go and find it for annealed low carbon steel, the values of K and N. So if you have the value of K and if you have the value of N from the table, then you can put it in here. If you want to find this dash, right, the plane strain, then whatever value you find here, you have to multiply it by 1.1547 and so on. So, right, so remember that it is not Y bar, it is Y bar prime. So after finding Y bar, you multiply it by the factor, From the table, you should find that K is 530 megapascal and N is 0.26 for annealed low carbon steel. Also, because this epsilon is here, so we know that in rolling and so on, epsilon is ln H0 by H1 or T1 by T1, whatever you call it. So these values are given, right? The initial height and the final height are given. So you can find the strain. So now everything you can feed back, right? A strain is this value. Both these are known, so strain is known. So therefore in this equation strain is known. K and N are from the table, so K, N, they are known, so Y bar is known. Y bar multiplied this factor is Y bar prime, so this is now known. So now if you go back to this equation, then L you calculated here, W is directly given to you, right? Mu is directly given to you, L you found here, H average is the average of these two. So the force is now known. If the force is known, then pi force, L is already there, N is the RPM which is given to you. Upon this value whatever comes out is directly in kilowatts, right? So this is the solution of the question, and I keep on repeating myself, sorry for that, but you see all these problems, none of them is a very different one than the ones that we do in the class and that we do in the homework problems and so on. So if you attend the classes on a regular basis, if you practice the example problems and the homework problems and so on, then solutions of these are not a big issue. So we have covered the midterm, we have covered quiz 3. Now let us go to quiz 4. And as I said earlier, your good luck is that because there are 2 sections, so you get a lot of questions and problems as a practice because they are from 2 sections rather than only 1 section. Question 1 was multiple choice, and this was from this portion, right? The extrusion wire drawing, if I remember. So porthole and bridge dies are used in hollow extrusion, solid rolling, hollow rolling. So if you remember, and you should, that these are 2 of the famous hollow extrusion die types, right? Hollow extrusion die types. So this hollow extrusion is the correct answer. Soda cans, Pepsi, Coke, etc. are made by the process of impact extrusion, upset forging, tube drawing, flat rolling. So if you remember in the lectures when we were doing impact extrusion, we specifically told you that impact extrusion is the method that is used to make all Pepsi cans and so on, right? So impact extrusion is the answer. Cross section of a material is reduced by pulling it through a die. Pulling it through a die in which process? Drawing, rolling, extrusion, forging, right? So of course it is not forging or rolling, you are pulling it. Extrusion is pushing it. So this is the only answer. When you pull a material through the die, then you are doing the operation of drawing. Die failure can happen due to overheating, heat checking, excessive wear, overloading, misuse, any of these. So if you are, even very normally intelligent, you will see that yes, die failure, all of these reasons can lead to it. Overheating can lead to it, excessive wear, you can lead to it, overloading, you can lead to it, right? So all of these is the correct answer. Let us go to the next question, which is the true false type. When surface oxides in extrusion are drawn toward the center of the billet, the defect is called extrusion defect. So there were only 2 or 3 extrusion defects that we mentioned. This answer is true, right? When the defect is towards the center of the billet, then this is called extrusion defect. Surface cracking in extrusion is also called chevron cracking. So there were only 3 basic defects which we were talking about: surface cracking, chevron cracking, and extrusion defect. So unfortunately surface cracking is not called chevron cracking, so this is false. Inhomogeneous deformation in drawing. Inhomogeneous deformation in drawing refers to ideal work with friction. False. You see, ideal work is the basic work. Inhomogeneous deformation is because of turbulence in the die area, forming of dead metal zone and those things. So that is another thing. That is another thing. Work due to inhomogeneous deformation. Ideal work is something else. So this part is of course false.